Are you looking for a more dense one row repeat crochet stitch? If you are, the spider stitch and crochet might just be the one you're looking for. It adds a beautiful detail to your crochet projects. It's a one row repeat and it creates a little bit thicker of a fabric. If you're ready to learn, let's grab a hook and some yarn and we'll get crocheting. Before we get started, make sure you subscribe to my channel, hit the bell so you get notifications of when I post new videos, and don't forget to give me some feedback on this video. Give me a like or a comment, let me know what I did well or things that I could improve upon. For today's crochet tutorial, I'm going to use a few different things. So first off, I personally am going to use a size 4 medium weight yarn in this teal color. I am going to use the size J 6.0 millimeter crochet hook, and then you'll probably need a pair of scissors to cut your yarn free at the end of your project. You can use whatever size yarn and whatever size crochet hook you would like. I'm just personally using those two. Today's crochet tutorial is written using US crochet terms. For the crochet spider stitch, you're going to have to know how to chain and how to single crochet stitch. That's it. If you can do both of those stitches, you can complete the spider stitch. You're going to start this crochet stitch by chaining a multiple of 2 plus 3. So what that means is first off, you are going to chain your multiple of 2. So my multiple of 2 is going to be 8. So here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now, once you have chained your multiple of 2, you need to add 3 more chains. So here's 1, 2, and 3. So again, the addition of the 3 chains happens at the very end of your chaining after you have chained as many multiples of 2 as you would like. Again, any multiple of 2 works. So you're going to chain your multiple of 2 first, and then you're going to add 3. Now, the reason why we do this is each repeat of the spider stitch, which is a single crochet V-stitch, takes 2 stitches to complete. Now at the very beginning in row 1, we're going to start by working into the 3rd chain from the crochet hook. So that's why we add 3 chains at the end. Because that is kind of separate from our stitch count. For row 1, we're going to begin by working into the 3rd chain from the crochet hook. Now you can work into the chain however you would like. I personally am going to put 2 parts of my chain on top of my hook and 1 on the bottom. You could work into your chain where you put 1 part on the top and 2 on the bottom, or you could work into the back bump of your chain and do it that way. All of those ways work. You just have to decide what you like the look of better. And for this stitch in particular, I like what it looks like when I put 2 parts of the chain on the top of my crochet hook. So again, we are working into the 3rd chain from our crochet hook. So 1, 2, and 3. Into that 3rd chain from the crochet hook, I'm going to put a single crochet stitch. I'm going to chain 1, and then I'm going to go back into that same chain and place another single crochet stitch. So I have placed a single crochet, chain 1, single crochet into the 3rd chain from the crochet hook. Now we're going to get into our repeat for the row. So we're going to skip 1 chain, and into the next we're going to place a single crochet. We're going to chain 1, and we're going to single crochet all into that same chain space. Again, skip 1 chain, into the next, single crochet, chain 1, single crochet, skip, single crochet, chain 1, single crochet. When you've completed your last repeat of skip a chain and then single crochet, chain 1, single crochet into the next, you should have 2 stitches remaining for your row. So you're going to skip 1 chain, and into the very last chain, you're going to work 1 singular single crochet stitch. And that completes row 1. For row 2, we begin by chaining 2, and then turning our work. Now row 2 is worked into the chain 1 spaces only until the very last stitch of the row. So we don't work into anything other than the chain 1 spaces except for the very last stitch. Now those chain 1 spaces can be a hard thing to figure out where you're putting them because that chain 1, for some reason with the single crochets, it gets really bunched up. So what you're going to do to find that chain 1, you're going to skip 2 stitches to start here. So we're skipping this one and we're skipping this one. The chain 1 is right here. So if you kind of look, this is our single crochet V stitch, and we're going to put our single crochet right in that space right there. So not these bigger spaces. I can tell you from experience, you're going to want to put it in this space, but that is incorrect. That space is a little bit bigger than the chain 1 space, it feels like. So you are not working there. Your chain 1 space is right here. So into that chain 1 space, we're going to insert our hook and we're going to work a single crochet, chain 1, and then single crochet all into that same chain 1 space. Now we're going to skip. So it's skipping 2. So if you get confused, you could do it that way. You're going to skip 2 stitches, and into the third, which is the chain 1 space, you're going to work a single crochet, chain 1, and a single crochet all into that same space. Skip 2, and into the chain 1 space, you're going to work a single crochet, chain 1, single crochet, skip 2, into the chain 1 space, you're going to work a single crochet, chain 1, and a single crochet. And then to end row 2, you're going to come over here and work into those skipped chains from the previous row. So remember, for row 1, we work into the 3rd chain from the crochet hook. So we're inserting into those 2 chains that we skipped over. And into that space, we're going to work a singular single crochet stitch. And that completes row 2. For row 3, you begin by chaining 2 and turning your work. Now row 3 is almost exactly like row 2. The difference comes into where you work that final single crochet of the row. So that's why I consider row 3 just a little bit different than row 2 because of a technical difference where you work that last single crochet. So just like row 2, we chain 2 and we turn, and we are going to work into the chain 1 spaces only for this row. So if you also look, you can kind of see that the chain 1 spaces have a little bump up. And so that's another way that you can know that that's where you need to work your stitches. But what we're going to do is we're going to skip 2 stitches, and into the chain 1 space, we're going to work a single crochet, chain 1, and then another single crochet stitch. Now we're going to skip 2 stitches. Into the next chain 1 space, we're going to work a single crochet, chain 1, single crochet, skip 2 stitches. Into the next chain 1 space, we're going to work a single crochet, chain 1, single crochet, skip 2 stitches, and into this chain 1 space, we work a single crochet, chain 1, and a single crochet stitch. Now we're at the very end of the row, and again, the difference between 2 and 3 comes into where this last stitch is worked. So here's my chain 2 turning chain from the previous row. Where we are going to work the final single crochet is in the 2nd chain of that turning chain. So not this one, but right here. So I insert my hook, so I'm picking up 2 parts of that chain. So I'm going right here, and that allows me to pick up 2 parts of that chain, and then I'm going to work a single crochet into that. And that completes row 3. For the remainder of your project using the spider stitch, you're just going to keep repeating row 3. So again, this now becomes a 1 row repeat crochet stitch where you just repeat row 3 for the remainder of your project. As far as a finishing row goes for this stitch, I don't do anything special to finish it off. I kind of like how that top edge has a slight little wave to it, and the bottom ends up having a slight wave to it by how I work into that chain. So I don't do anything special. I feel like it would look kind of weird if I tried to put a straight edge on this stitch. So I don't do anything special for the spider stitch to finish it off. I get asked all of the time how many chains are needed for certain sizes of blankets when it comes to these different stitches. So I've decided to start including them in my videos. So for this crochet stitch in particular, remember it is a multiple of 2 plus 3 that you are going to need. Keep in mind that your yarn size and your hook size are going to play a part in the size of your final blanket, so you may need to adjust these stitch counts accordingly. So for a baby blanket, you might need 63 chains. For a receiving blanket, you might need 71 chains. For a lapgan, you might need 79 chains. For a throw, you might need 99 chains. For a large throw, you might need 115 chains. For a twin size blanket, 135 chains. For a queen blanket, 175 chains. And for a king size blanket, you may need 211 chains. Again, hook and yarn size are going to be a huge determining factor in the size of your blanket. And that's how to spider stitch and crochet. I hope you guys found this tutorial helpful. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, hit the bell so you get notifications of when I post new videos. And if you're looking for another fun 1-row repeat crochet stitch to try, you could check out my crumpled griddle stitch crochet tutorial right here. And I hope you have a wonderful day.